Good morning, everyone. If you got it, flaunt it. But what does Judaism say about that? In this week's, Jacob blesses his grandchildren. And he says, the angel that watched over me throughout my life and protected me from all evil shall watch over the lads, referring to Ephraim and Manasseh. And then he concludes by saying, V'yidgu larov b'kerev haaretz. May they proliferate like fish in the midst of the land. And what Jacob was saying is, may they be fruitful, may they multiply. But the question is, why compare them to fish specifically? So the obvious answer is that fish proliferate at a very great rate, at a high rate. But our rabbis give multiple deeper explanations to the analogy of fish. First of all, the rabbis explain that fish are always connected to their life source. They cannot leave the water. Torah is compared to water because it quenches the thirst of man. It also is like water that causes everything to grow. All the characteristic traits, the positive development of a person is dependent on Torah, like rain. And therefore the message is, may you be like the fish. Just like fish understand that they must always be connected to their life source in order to survive. As Jews, we have to know we have to always be connected to the Torah. Another explanation is that when it's raining outside and there's fish in a pond or in a river, what do the fish do? They jump up outside of the water to catch some raindrops in their mouth. And the question is, they have all the water they need in the pond or the river. Why are they dancing out of the water to catch raindrops? And the answer is that no matter how good and plentiful the water is around them, it's old water, it's not fresh, it's not new. And the fish want fresh water, new drops of water. So too, no matter how much knowledge of Torah you have, you should always be seeking and thirsting for something fresh, something new, a new insight, a new understanding of Torah. Another reason why we're compared to the fish in the sea is because when you look at the ocean, you don't see the fish. When you look at a pond of water, you don't see the fish. They're beneath the surface. And our rabbis say the lesson is that if you have it, don't flaunt it. Keep it concealed. There's something called an ayin hara, an evil eye. You don't want people to look at you with an evil eye. What does that mean, an evil eye? You don't want them to begrudge you. You don't want them to be envious of you. You don't want them to feel negatively towards you. And therefore, don't flaunt it. Enjoy it. Be grateful that God gave you these blessings, these resources, these talents, these abilities. But don't show it off, because that just creates envy and jealousy and ill will. And therefore Judaism would say the opposite. Keep it concealed, because you don't want an ayin hara. And our rabbis go so far to say that blessing only resides on something that is hidden from the eye. Don't show it off. We live in a day and an age with social media, and everyone's showing off how great their marriage is and how wonderful their kids are and how beautiful this is or that is, their new car, their new house. And Judaism would say, don't do that. Don't make other people envious, because people will compare what they have on the inside to what you have on the outside. And the truth is that the only people you are envious of are people you don't really know well, because if you knew someone else's circumstances, as the old adage goes, everyone has their peckle, everyone has their bag, and everybody would take their own peckle, their own bag of whatever it may be that they deal with in life. There's one exception to this rule, and that's when it comes to charity. When it comes to charity, the Talmud says it's a mitzvah to publicize those who do a mitzvah. So it is okay to publicize if you've been generous, if you gave tzedakah. Why? Because first of all, people won't be envious of you. They'll be happy that you're generous. It won't cause envy. But furthermore, it will encourage others to give charity as well. Just like there's negative peer pressure, there's positive peer pressure. And when you see others are generous, it makes you think, I should also do the same. And if there's envy that someone else will feel, look, he's so generous or she's so generous, I also want to be so generous, that's positive envy. There's a new hero, there's many heroes in Israel after October 7th, but one of them, chesed v'rachmim, kindness and mercy, and over $5 million for charity. And the story is that his father died on September 11th, 2023. And his father was a famous musician, singer in Israel. And his father told him on his deathbed, Shai, after I die, you're going to hear a lot of stories about kindness that I did for people quietly. And that's what I'm asking you to do. Carry on my acts of chesed. And when his father died, he decided that this is what he was going to do. He's going to devote himself to helping the soldiers and helping the families and the victims. And he's done remarkable work, taking out children to amusement parks and providing relief and gifts and hospital visitations. And he set up a rejuvenation center on the border of Gaza for the hundreds of soldiers that come out of Gaza each and every day. And Dini and the women visited last night, and I saw videos of them dancing with the soldiers. There's food, there is entertainment every night, there's jacuzzi, showers, massage chairs, everything you could imagine for these soldiers. But he said that when he decided to do this, he remembered that his father told him, I did everything quietly. I want you to continue that way, to do chesed, kindness. And he went to his rabbi and he said, I want to honor my father and continue doing acts of kindness. But unless I show people what I'm doing, I'm not going to be able to raise money for this organization. And the rabbi told him, well, this is an exception. That's what your father would want you to do, to have the most impact with kindness. And if that means you have to have videos to show people what you're doing with the funds, to encourage them to support, you may do so. And he said, I really didn't want everyone to see what I'm doing, but this was the only way to do it. Sometimes you have to sacrifice your anonymity in order to achieve the greater good of potential. But if it's not for a greater good, it's better to be like the fish beneath the surface. Have a wonderful day.